What's up to all my fight fans out there? So, this past Saturday, there was another fight announcement during the Brian Ortega Yair Rodriguez fight. And we pretty much anticipated this fight was going to happen, but we always speculated that perhaps someone else was going to fight someone else within the lightweight division. But Charles Olivera is going against Islam Makhachev in Dubai, October 22nd. And you know what? I'm actually very excited. I'm actually very, very excited. I know there was talks about possibly Conor McGregor facing Charles Oliveira for the title. I know, well, of course, I know what before I get into it, I know what you guys are going to say. You know what? Charles Oliveira is the champ. I don't care what anybody else has to say, what technicalities there are. Let's stop with that. Stop with it. Stop with it. Stop with it. Charles Oliveira is the champ. Let's not go, oh, well, no one's a champ. Yes, he is. Come on. A half a pound. What's a half a pound? A pinky toe, maybe? Jesus Christ, guys. Really, really, stop with that. Charles Oliveira is actually the champion. But be that as it may, yeah, there was all kinds of speculation on who was going to face who, that maybe Charles Oliveira was going to face Conor, maybe perhaps a non-title fight. Then there was talks of Michael Chandler facing Islam for a title and so forth and so forth. There was all this rumors. And of course, a big lead in that rumor was always Islam versus Charles Oliveira. But now this fight is booked, signed, done deal, and we are going to see it. What are your thoughts on it? My thoughts are, I like it. I find it very, very interesting. I know what a lot of critics are saying, that Islam doesn't quite deserve it just yet. And, I was a little on the fence like that too. I haven't seen a whole lot of name value on Islam's record. He did go against Dan Hooker and he did go against Bobby Green. And he's, of course, looked dominant, but let's face facts. Those opponents, good fighters, but, there's tougher challengers out there. And I know I hear all different podcasts. I listen to different interviews and I hear, there are some Islam Makhachev teammates that do say like, oh, well, no one wants to fight him. I get it. It can happen. Some people just look really dangerous and don't want to run that risk of facing someone like Islam. And Islam is very dangerous, as we can see. He's extremely talented. He's a great wrestler, great grappler. He has some tremendous submissions with all of his stoppages and such like that with Bobby and Dan Hooker and so forth. And you look at Charles Oliveira, who has the record holding for the most submissions in, I could be wrong, but I think it's either UFC history or lightweight history. But I know he holds the record, which is, again, itself. I mean, you look at his past victories alone. You look at his victory over Justin Gaethje, look at his victory over Dustin Poirier, and look at his victory over Michael Chandler. The only guy who he wasn't able to put away in a submission, which, good God, I can't believe he didn't tap, was Tony Ferguson. We saw him in that armbar, and we're like, oh, even thinking about it now gives me the chills. Like, how did you not tap? But that's Tony Ferguson. The guy's a beast. The guy's a beast. So it's almost impossible to get that guy to quit. He didn't even stop during that Justin Gaethje fight when he fought him back in 2020. The referee had to stop it. But that's Tony Ferguson for you. But nonetheless, Charles Oliveira is an animal. And how do you guys see this fight happening? I hear a lot of talks about the ground. How is Charles Oliveira going to get him in a submission? You got is a Makhachev, who is a great wrestler, who is going to try to take it to the ground. And of course, you got Charles Oliveira, who is probably by far the best submission artist in the game right now, who has no problem going to the ground himself. So can Islam defend himself, even though he's going to go for a submission himself? But now he got to realize, like, okay, this is a different level. This is a different game that you are going up against. You're not, this ain't Dan Hooker and this ain't Bobby Green. This is a totally different caliber. And of course, yeah, there's talks. Well, I seen him in the gym and there's people that, he submitted so many great grapplers. That's the gym. That's the gym. I'm sure there's a lot of stories about a lot of great MMA fighters who went toe-to-toe with other great MMA fighters in the gym. Sorry, it's a different place. Different place. Battles, yes, are won in the gym. You train, you work hard, you do all the hard work, and you go in the cage, and it's a totally different story. It's a totally different story. I know I've heard of fighters where they shined in the cage, but yet they sucked in the gym, and vice versa. They were great in training, but somehow couldn't get it together in the cage. It happens. So, but as far as what we see, as what the fans see, is that we see, Islam very good, but then we wonder how good really is he? How good would he be against a Dustin Poirier, a Justin Gaethje, hell, even a Tony Ferguson? Even Tony Ferguson is at the down slopes of his career. He hasn't been able to, look the very best. Unfortunately, that happens to the best of them. But yeah, we would have loved to see that before this fight. But nonetheless, we are getting this fight anyway. But we see Charles Oliveira. Like, again, this guy is always fun to see. This guy's always must-see TV. Every fight he's been in, these past couple of fights with Michael Chandler, a great fight, survived and won the lightweight championship. Then another great fight with Dustin Poirier, and then another great fight with, Justin Gaethje. He gets hit, and the guy just does not panic. The guy just does not panic. He's not afraid to exchange with you, and he's not afraid to go to the ground because he feels safe both ways. And that's my major question. I keep hearing, well, when it goes to the ground, what if it doesn't? Who has the better hands? And my money is on Charles Oliveira. We see what he was able to do with Michael Chandler and what he was able to survive with Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. How will Islam hold up during that? What if Islam cannot get him to the ground? Will his hands be able to help him? Would his hands be able to protect him and be able to match him skill for skill? Because again, we haven't been able to see it against high-end challengers in the lightweight division. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. Obviously, 99.9% chance this is going to go to the ground, but there's always that 0.01% that it might not. And I believe this favors Charles Oliveira because just the hands that he has. He has shown tremendous boxing. And of course, he's not afraid to get hit. And we don't know how hard Islam gets hit, but can he hit as hard as Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, or Justin Gaethje, who are all notable strikers and all have knocked out very tough opponents in their day, and have all knocked down Charles Oliveira, and still Charles Oliveira still withheld the storm, withstood the storm, I should say. Yeah, how can Islam do? Can Islam take him down? And in that case where he takes him down with his wrestling, can he protect his neck? Can he protect his arms? Can he protect all these other things, all these other limbs and body parts of his with his grappling and jiu-jitsu and all these other techniques that he has against another guy who is just as good, if not better than him on the ground? God, I am like super excited for this fight. Super excited. And I actually do hope it does go. I would love to see how these guys match skill for skill on the ground with each other. I love striking. I'm a striker. I love boxing. I love all that stuff when it comes just to hands. And so it's super rare where we get this match like, man, I really want to see what happens when these two go to the ground. And it's very, very, very few matches actually have that, where we were more curious to see what happens on the ground more than the feet, and this is one of them. So I'm looking forward to it. Tell me what you guys think. Leave me a comment, and again, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Do me that favor, and I really appreciate you guys been tuning in. Thank you very much.